reacting to the first Cardinals preseason game of the season, and there was a lot of firsts. It was, I believe, the first time we had seen starters in the Jonathan Gannon era. It was the first time we got to see some of the rookies, and it was the first time a rookie broadcaster for the Cardinals stepped behind the microphone. We've got with us AQ Shipley, the Cardinals radio analyst, joining us here on the Arizona Sports Line. AQ, Mitch and Wolf here with you. How did it go on Saturday? Did you get all the jitterbugs out of the way?
What's up, guys? Yeah, it was like my first game ever. I mean, heck, it's like I felt like I was playing football again, getting the little butterflies at 2:00 p.m. I didn't eat any food beforehand. I had all the feels again, which was definitely good. But I think it went well. I mean, I think preseason is probably gonna be the hardest you're ever gonna deal with. You got 90 names versus 53, and obviously.
Right.
You know, once the regular season rolls around, you got a pretty good feel on who the two deep is, and offensively, most of those guys play most of the game. So, you know, it's just going through that process. But again, I'd rather start with the hardest versus the easiest.
So, AQ, forgive me for this, but have you ever called a game before when it was live? Have you ever done that?
So, no. I guess to answer your full question,
okay.
But you know, I think for as long as I can remember, that has been. Broadcasting has been, you know, in, I guess, my future works from the time I was a little kid. And I used to love watching it. I grew up in Pittsburgh and had Myron Cope's voice in my ear. I know I mentioned that already, but,
yes.
you know, it's an iconic voice. And then, you know, you grow up listening, and obviously it's a big part of the game. You turn on the TV broadcast, or whether you're in the radio with my dad driving, you know, through the tunnels of Pittsburgh, hearing the voice, whatever it may be, right? I think I've always yearned for that voice and painting that picture in a different way from the guys calling the game. And for me, obviously the analyst thing that I've been able to do on TV has been preparation, watch, and then put it to a test on a live format, but never doing it live in person. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing it from my couch for years, Wolf. You know, I think that's, I sit there and try. My wife always says, you know, whenever I'm sitting there calling it, I'll say something, and then Chris Collinsworth says the same thing 2 minutes later. You know, it's like, okay,
yeah,
I like this.
No, you know what, Ship, did anything surprise you at all? Like, what was your favorite thing about calling the game while it was happening?
Yeah, my favorite thing, honestly, was just. It's the same things I've done, you know, whether I was a coach or whether I was a player. It's just seeing it before it happens, or seeing it in live time and being able to diagnose everything, you know, on the spot. I think that's probably my favorite thing to do. Is my favorite thing as a player. I was able to kind of see things before it happened. And, you know, I think that's my favorite thing to do. And then now it's just being able to just, you know, spit it out in a way where everybody can enjoy it, understand it, and, clear and concise way. I think the thing that surprises me is, you know, going through it the first time, really, like I said, never done it before live. And so when I do that, and now a penalty's called, and okay, like, how does that operation go? I think that's the biggest surprise. It's like, how do you get your words out, but then don't step on the referee when he's about to talk, and then get that out quick enough? I think that was the biggest kind of surprise that came to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Wolf.
AQ Shipley, the Cardinals radio analyst, joining us here on the Arizona Sports Line. So I want to ask you, from the new perspective that you get to have in watching football, talking about football, what was the first thing that lingers with you based on what you saw from the first preseason game Saturday?
Yeah, it was good to see the starters. I think that's the first thing. It was good to see the starters. Anytime you see a preseason, I think Wolf would agree with me on this, like, as a former player, I think you need to play. I think you need to play in the preseason, even if it's one series. I think just getting some reps and getting that feel of getting back on the field.
Yeah.
You know, if it's one series every single preseason game, you're going to be better off than if you got none, in my opinion. And so I think seeing the guys out there and getting guys out there, like a guy like Jonah, who didn't play last year, you know, for the most part, for most of the season, he gets back out and gets some meaningful reps and gets those feels again, right? Kyler, I think, getting those feels. And again, I think the offense looked pretty good. They moved the ball pretty well. The interception was kind of a black eye on the night, I think. But I think other than that, I thought Kyler played really well. I think the ones played really well. And then you get to see these guys who maybe nobody knows about, or maybe nobody's even heard about, or maybe this guy that's been the camp sensation, and see him against other competition live under the lights and see how, if he's going to get, as Bruce Arians used to say, exposure or exposed.
Yeah, that's right. Ship, talk to me about the line of scrimmage and what you saw on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And again, I realize, you're out there. It's a preseason game. You're playing some guys that may not be on your team. But talk about the line of scrimmage and what you saw.
Yeah, I liked what I saw. I thought the Cardinals did a good job on both sides, honestly. Again, Patrick only played 3 plays, and then I think their one offensive line maybe got another series. So, again, a lot of these guys who you're going to typically see during the regular season didn't get a ton of playing time. But I think what you saw from the D-line and from the O-line, and again, same thing on the D-line, right? Calais didn't play, Walter's out, and there's some injuries, and there's some different guys. But that also provides what? It provides some opportunities for some guys maybe to get some exposure. And I liked what I saw. I liked what I saw from both groups. I thought L.J. Collier did a nice job. I thought Birch did a nice job on the defensive side. Byers did a nice job. Elijah Simmons, who everybody's been talking about during training camp, he made some plays. So it was good to see some of those things. XT makes a big play on the interception. He blows up the tackle, blows up the running back, and causes the quarterback to roll out, and you force the interception, right? So there's some certain things you liked what you saw from the defensive side of the ball. I think on the offensive side of the ball, I liked what I saw from the first group. I thought they ran it pretty well. I thought the running back group looked incredible, to be honest with you. And I think part of that, again, when the running back group does well, who else usually is playing pretty well is the offensive line, right? So I think all the units did a pretty nice job. I thought the second unit took a little bit of time to get settled in. Brissett took some big hits on his first couple plays, and then they settled in pretty nicely.
So, you know what? I thought Will Johnson getting beat, allowing that inside route on the 1 yard line, I didn't think that was the worst thing that could possibly happen to him. A little DPI, because he did have his arm around the waist of the receiver right there. I think, you know what? I want these guys who are hyper talented to show a little bit of the struggle. I think that might help them in the long run. Your thought on that?
Yeah, no question. I think there's a good balance of seeing some struggle and seeing how they overcome some of that stuff. A lot of these guys, Wolf, as you know, I'll just throw Kyler's name out there, right? He was the best player on the field from the time he was in second grade, right? And so now how do you handle a little adversity? How do you handle a little bit of now you got a guy that maybe makes a play on you and battles and go through that stuff and come out the other side, right? I think all those things are good for any player. I think the other thing, too, with these DBs coming out of college, they're able to get away with a lot of handsy stuff in college that you're not able to in the NFL. And so the earlier you can face that and maybe even get some flags thrown against you, maybe get a DPI, maybe get whatever it is, and now you start to be able to coach that up in the second week of preseason as opposed to second week of the regular season where it really matters, I think you can really get some good stuff out of that.
AQ Shipley, Cardinals radio analyst, joining us here on the Arizona Sports Line. Last one, at least for me. It's going to be a lot happening leading up to the next preseason game on Saturday, so a lot of things could change. But in general, who is anybody on any side of the ball? Who is somebody that you're looking forward to see a little bit more of Saturday in Denver?
Yeah, for me, it's the starting guards, right? I know Coach Gann gave both of those guys obviously a vote of confidence, which is huge, by the way. Let me also start by saying that with him coming out and being like, hey, these guys don't have to look over their shoulder. They're the starting guards. Even with the signing of a Will Hernandez, is huge because I've been in that situation where you're going through training camp and they don't announce the starter until, 4 days before the regular season, 5 days before the regular season. You're sitting there and it's just like it's a bunch of added stress, even though you're getting all the one reps, even though you're getting all of the content, comments and critique and, during the film room. It's like you're still looking over your shoulder. So for him to give those guys a vote of confidence was huge, I think, for their psyche and for their confidence. But again, still got to keep doing it. Still got to keep showing up at training camp and performing and then going out against Denver and going out against Vegas and doing all the things that you need to do in the preseason and taking care of business. But I think, Adams and Brown, I think I'd like to see a little bit more out of those guys and one-on-one type of reps. I think that's going to be huge. And I'd also like to see Birch. Ton of hype coming out of Oregon, right? Freakish athlete, looks the part.
Yeah.
Seeing him against, better competition. So, you hope to see that in the preseason. Again, you never know how the preseason is going to work. It's so different from when I played and from when Wolf played.
Right.
And it's continuously evolving with these joint practices. And that's the other thing. Are we going to even see these guys depending on how much good work they get in the joint practices? So I think all of these things can affect everything. But I think those are three guys that I'd like to see.
Ship, congratulations to you, buddy. You absolutely knocked it out. Not a surprise to me whatsoever, but congrats on that, buddy. And I look forward to watching you develop down the road.
I appreciate those kind words, Wolf. You are an absolute legend. I look forward to picking your brain as many times as you will let me.
Okay, brother. God
Q,
bless you,
always
man.
good to talk with you. Thanks for the time, and we'll be listening on Saturday, all right?
All right, appreciate you guys.
All right,
Take care.
AQ Shipley, the Arizona Cardinals radio analyst, joining us here on the Arizona Sports Line.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.